compare Pakistan to our peer group, when we compare Pakistan to other countries, unfortunately, we have not been able to do as well. Pakistan's manufactured exports were about $200 million. The manufactured exports of South Korea, Malaysia, and Thailand combined were $205 million. So Pakistan equaled the exports of South Korea, Malaysia, and Thailand. In 2025, our exports have only increased from $200 million to $30 billion. South Korea's has gone from $100 million to over $600 billion. Malaysia has gone from some $70 billion to $250 or $300 billion. And similarly, Thailand from $30 million to again over $200 billion. In 1980, Pakistan's per capita income was $300. China's per capita income in 1980 was $200. Today, China's per capita income is over $15,000 and Pakistan's per capita income is about $1,600. So, likewise, when we compare ourselves with all those countries which were far behind, not only in Asia, but even in our region, till 1999, Pakistan was ahead of all South Asian economies. But after 2000, first India overtook us, and in 2013, Bangladesh also overtook us. So I think the fundamental question that bothers every Pakistani today is, why have we not been able to achieve what we truly deserved? And why have other countries done better than us, and why were we not able to do better than those countries? If someone is a doctor would agree that the treatment, 70% of any illness depends on the diagnosis. If you diagnose the disease correctly, you will have a recovery. But if you are not able to diagnose the illness or disease properly, no matter how good a doctor you are, if you are applying wrong treatment, nothing will work. As a matter of fact, even an average doctor, if diagnoses the illness correctly, will be able to fix it. And a top class doctor, if is not properly has diagnosed the illness and not giving the right treatment, will not be able to fix the thing, it will not work. So I think the basic challenge before us is that we should try to understand what went wrong with us. Were Pakistanis less intelligent? Were Pakistanis less hardworking? Were Pakistanis less enterprising? Were Pakistanis less resourceful? Or were Pakistanis less honest than others? I can very confidently say that on none of these dimensions or factors, we are behind any other nation. No, I mean, we are not more corrupt than you have corruption in other countries of South Asia. Or we are not, as hardworking as other nations. If you actually go to Gulf, Middle East, here in Europe or America, and I think ask third country people what kind of people the Pakistanis are, so they will at least give you two answers, that they are very hardworking and they are very intelligent. और intelligent इतने हैं कि हर काम की जुगाड़ निकाल सकते हैं. So, our intelligence and hard work is our actually brand. But what has happened? Unfortunately, we have not diagnosed what was wrong with us. And we never tried to learn lessons from other successful countries that why they were successful. We try to identify these things in Vision 2010, Vision 2025, and again in URAAN, Pakistan, but I think we did not follow what was identified essential and critical for Pakistan's development journey. Just as if a doctor gives you a prescription and you don't follow it and you will have another angina, it's not doctor's fault, it is patient's fault that has not been very careful. All these countries exhibit 4 characteristics of an ecosystem that they develop for their development. First lesson from these countries is that no country has ever achieved development without peace. Any country that remains bogged down in conflicts can never achieve its development goals. So peace is essential for development journey. 2, there is no history in the history of mankind or no example where a country has been able to develop with political instability. So you find each and every country first having political stability and then development has followed. 3, each country that has developed successfully also was able to have tenures of a decade to allow policies to continue for a decade, for them to give results. Policies do not give results before a decade. You can do a project in 2-3 years. You can do a program in 4 or 5 years. But for a policy to give results, it needs continuity of at least 10 years, if not more. So in each country, Japan, South Korea, Malaysia, Singapore, Thailand, Bangladesh, India, Turkey, China, whichever country you take, I can show you that they had tenures of 10 years, steady 10-year tenure of a regime that was implementing reform or economic agenda for it to achieve the goals. In our neighboring country, 10 years of Manmohan Singh and 15 years of Modi, these 25 years have changed India. Beyond India and Bangladesh, whatever political policies of Hasina Wajid regime were, but the 15 years tenure provided a stretch of a decade for the economic policies to take root, and Bangladesh took off. In Malaysia, it was Dr. Mahathir, which was there for 22 years, 2 decades of continuity of economic policies. In Singapore, it was Lee Kuan Yew, 3 decades. In South Korea, it was President Park for a decade. In Japan, after World War, except for 3 or 4 years, single party has ruled, although prime ministers have come and go, but there is just one party rule in Japan. In China, since 49, there is one party with every president doing 10 years. In Turkey, President Erdogan's party for the last 2 decades. So, you find, why? Because it is good to say in theory that there should be a charter of economy, there should be consensus on national policies, but in practice, when the regime changes, the policies change. And the most latest example you can see in the most strong democracy of the world, just as the administration has changed, the policies have also changed. So you cannot disconnect policy change with regime change. It happens, so if you want, that is why in America also, most of the successful administrations have had 2 tenures at a stretch. So Pakistan, unfortunately, was not able to have these stretches of stability and continuity. But the 4th element, which is equally important, is you may have stability, you may have continuity, but if you do not have an economic agenda and commitment to reform, that stability will not work. So we did have stretches of 10, 11 years under martial regimes. They provided a decade-long stability. But the priority was different. It was not economic transformation. It was fighting a geopolitics or the wars for someone else. So we lost those opportunities. So you need a commitment to reform along with stability and continuity. So peace, stability, continuity of policies for a decade, and a continuous commitment to reform are the four prerequisites for an ecosystem of development that each and every country that did well was able to establish. If Pakistan also has to move forward, we need a consensus amongst ourselves that we have to stop doing what we have been doing, because that is not going to take us forward. It will keep us bogged down, or it will keep us locked into the same old cycle of instability and destruction that we have seen in our history for just moving in circles and not moving in a straight line trajectory. So I think that is the first thing, and this is again, we try to set this context in URAAN, Pakistan. Why is it important for us to think? Because this is the fourth time we are seeing an URAAN for Pakistan. Before this, we have crashed 3 URAANs of Pakistan. The first URAAN came for Pakistan in 1960s, when everyone believed that Pakistan is the next Japan in Asia. Pakistan was the first country in Asia to start space program. Pakistan was the country in Asia whose Habib Bank Plaza at that time in 60s was the tallest building east of Karachi. No other country, Singapore, no other place like Singapore, Shanghai, Thailand, or any other, Bombay had as high building as Habib Bank Plaza was in Karachi. So we were there, but 1965 war derailed us. We lost that URAAN. The second URAAN came to Pakistan in 1991, when Prime Minister Nawaz Sharif launched economic reforms in Pakistan, which were the first set of reforms in South Asia at that time, to liberalize the economy, to privatize state enterprises, to deregulate the economy, and to make private sector engine of growth. Late Sartaj Aziz has said this on a number of occasions, that Mr. Manmohan Singh, who was then the finance minister, asked him at Commonwealth Summit that our businessmen are pressurizing us to implement the same set of policies that Pakistan has introduced. And he asked him to send him the copies of SROs, which Mr. Sartaj Aziz gave to Mr. Manmohan Singh. And later on, India followed the same reform path, but continued on it for a decade. As a result, in 2000, India overtook us. But what did we do with that reforms? In 93, the government of Prime Minister Nawaz Sharif was dismissed, and with this dismissal, the reforms were also thrown into the dustbin, and we lost that opportunity of leadership in South Asia. The third URAAN came in 2013-17. In 2013, you are all aware that Pakistan was facing 16 to 18 hours of power shortage. Electricity would not come even for enough time for the batteries of UPS systems to be recharged. And people were forced to have light through candles. And there were headlines in the newspaper that Pakistan is back into Stone Age, because that was the only source of light for many people in the country. Day would not pass when a suicide bomber will not blow himself in some part of the country and have dozens of our people and security forces, Jawans, killed in those suicide bombs. And Newsweek put Pakistan on its title page as the most dangerous country in the world. Stock market had crashed, economy was at standstill, inflation was running in double digits, so no growth, high inflation, and country faced serious stagflation. At that point, again under the leadership of Prime Minister Nawaz Sharif, we set out to turn around Pakistan's economy. Within 4 years, we installed 11,000 megawatts of new power projects. And if you compare that with 18,000 of megawatt capacity installed in 67 years, installing 11,000 in just 4 years was not an ordinary accomplishment. So, similarly, there was a consensus developed after Army public school attack in which Prime Minister created unity and consensus among political and military leadership to take on menace of terrorism by its horns. National Action Plan was crafted. Mr. Imran Khan, who was sitting in the sit-in in Islamabad, was honorably called to join this consultative meeting so that we have whole of leadership approach and whole of nation approach with every section of politics and civil and military departments sit together and chalk out a strategy under that National Action Plan. Within 3 years, we were able to completely eliminate terrorism from the face of Pakistan. Pakistan once again became a land of peace. Karachi, which was the financial capital, was the center of law and order situation, crime, where on any day, if there were single-digit killings, people thought it was a very peaceful day. And in Karachi, complete peace was restored. China-Pakistan Economic Corridor was an opportunity that came to Pakistan, and we fully seized that opportunity. Within 3 years, $25 billion from China were invested in energy sector of Pakistan, in infrastructure of Pakistan, in information technology and other areas to give Pakistan much needed infrastructure as well as foreign investment. In 2017, US ambassadors, UK High Commissioner, EU ambassadors, all these diplomats would come to me and ask me one question only. Mr. Minister, tell us, how can our companies join SEZs being set up under CPEC? The whole world started to look at Pakistan through the eyes of investment and China-Pakistan Economic Corridor. And there were Chinese investors in Pakistan, and we were hoping that these SEZs will attract at least $30 to $40 billion private investment, because at that time, Chinese industry was very actively relocating to low-cost producing destinations because of the high labor cost. Unfortunately, when Pakistan was taking that third URAAN, in 2018, few generals and judges again conspired against that URAAN, crashed it by disqualifying Prime Minister Nawaz Sharif on a very frivolous charge that he had not accepted salary from his son's company, and on that, resident permit account, he was declared ineligible to hold his office of Prime Minister. That again threw Pakistan into political crisis. In 2018, elections were again rigged through RTS system and regime was changed. Regimes do change in countries, but should every regime also change each and every policy? The new government, which was completely inexperienced, almost changed each and every policy that we had started under Vision 2025. The result was those Chinese investments that were supposed to come to Pakistan, they got diverted to Vietnam, Cambodia, Laos, because the new regime only knew one mantra, that to call everyone Chor and Daku. So it called us Chor and Daku, and it also called Chinese investors Chor and Daku. So why would any investor invest in your country if you are scandalizing them? if you are making baseless allegations against them for having invested in Pakistan at a time when even our own investors were not willing to invest in Pakistan. So we lost that great moment and opportunity. In 2022, we came back to government, and I want to tell you what are the facts, and they can be checked. We took office on probably 20th or 22nd of April. 1st of April 2022, under previous regime, Finance Ministry refused to release the last quarter of development budget installment, saying that it had no money. This had never happened in the history of Pakistan. That full 1 quarter release was not made by the Finance Ministry on the account that it had no money in the kitty. So what it meant, that technically and internally, the country had defaulted on its own commitment liabilities inside the country. And when we came into government, I must give full credit to Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif, who took that courageous and bold step of accepting the challenge, because it was not an easy path. We took tough decisions, and as a result, we were able to avert external default for which people were betting that whether it will take 4 weeks or 6 weeks for Pakistan to become another Sri Lanka. So we managed to rescue Pakistan from that crisis. We implemented some very harsh conditions of IMF agreement which had been agreed by the previous government, but they did not implement them. Rather, they acted against them. And that created great mistrust between IMF and Pakistan. But the challenge for government was to also restore that confidence. And I must tell you that it is not easy to give a shock to economy of increasing the fuel prices by 150 rupees within a period of 1 month. You know, we are not just jahils, hum bhi padhe likhe hain, or we have experience and we know what is the impact if you increase price of fuel by 150 rupees within just 1 month. It, sends already high inflation into spiraling into even higher heights. But there was no option. IMF said, if you will not do it, because your government, previous government, signed an agreement that we will eliminate all subsidy from POL and oil will go on international price, and if you did not implement it, we are not talking to you. So we had to do it. But credit must also go to people of Pakistan. Ayub Khan government fell for increasing price of sugar by 4 annas. There was agitation in the country. 150 rupees oil prices were increased within 1 month. You did not see a single protest on any street or in any city of Pakistan. Why? It was not easy. The poor and the middle class paid a very heavy price. But every Pakistani knew that there is no other way. This is a bitter pill that we have to swallow. And I must also give credit to the media, which had educated people that what were the circumstances and what were the choices that government was facing. But again, I must say, Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif took that heat and stood with courage, and finally Pakistan was able to avert that crisis. So ladies and gentlemen, today, after 2 years of hard work and sweat, we are at a point Pakistan is ready for 4th URAAN. Inflation has come down from 38% to less than or close to 4%. The policy rate, which had gone as high as 23%, has come down to 13% and likely to go further down because inflation has gone down to great extent. Similarly, stock market, which had crashed to 30,000 points, is today breaking new records with 115,000 index points, which is showing that investor community is completely supporting and rallying behind the decisions of the government that they are in the right direction. So that shows growing confidence of the investor community in Pakistan. Exports are growing with about 30%. Remittances have grown with over 30%. IT exports again also showing 30% plus growth. So if you look at most of the economic indicators, we see that Pakistan is again on a positive trajectory. While we continue to be in an IMF program, which is a program of stabilization, and we have to keep ourselves within certain constraints, but despite those constraints, Pakistan is showing a lot of robustness because we had really gone far below our potential. So there is a huge gain that we need to make, and we are making, with restoration of stability and sanity in economic management of the country. So now, if we are poised for the fourth URAAN of Pakistan, should this fourth URAAN also meet the end of the previous three URAANs, or should this be a different URAAN? And I would say that we cannot have the luxury of repeating the history because, as High Commissioner Saab was also saying, we were discussing that in 22 years, 2 countries in our region will be celebrating their centennial. Our neighboring country and Pakistan, 2047. And 2 decades just fly like that because we are now in a digital age where things move with the speed of electron. So we have to ask ourselves that our neighboring country pretty much has a good idea where it will be in 2047. How clear are we that where are we going to be in 2047 in terms of our economy and in terms of our standing in the world? So that is a challenge, I think, that requires a response. Toynbee, who wrote history, was once asked that you have written so many volumes on history. If you were to give just 2-word answer to your work, how would you describe history in 2 words? He said, history is nothing except a series of challenge and response. There is a challenge and there is a response, and that response defines the next challenge. So I think we also stand at a point where we have a challenge before us, and how we respond as a nation will define our next challenge. My submission before you is, in psychology, there is a phenomena which they call self-fulfilling prophecy. You become what you believe. What you say about yourself, that you become. We have been fed wrong narratives. Chor, daku, chor, daku. I have not come across any nation in the world who is as self-critical of itself as we are. I have not seen any nation doing politics outside its own country and washing dirty linen on the streets of other countries. If they ever have to show any solidarity, they will do it very, quietly and sensibly. I was at Oxford University day before yesterday, and what really shook me was the debate is opened on both sides by a student of the university. So the opposing side had a Pakistani student, and when he opened the debate, he put Pakistan as a rogue state. He said because Imran Khan is being not treated well, Pakistan is a rogue state. Now it was a Pakistani putting Pakistan on trial at Oxford University. So I was quite embarrassed and ashamed. And then finally I had to rebut also that, well, you cannot call a leader a symbol of liberal democracy who himself loves Taliban, and people know him as Taliban Khan, so are you propagating liberal democracy or Taliban democracy? And then how would you define a leader who has been decreed by Supreme Court to have committed an extra constitutional action of dissolving the parliament unconstitutionally? So military generals did that, but this was for the first time a civilian leader was declared culprit of an extra constitutional act by Supreme Court. And I said, if in UK, any Prime Minister of UK siphoned off 190 million pounds from National Treasury and returned this money to the same guy from whom it was confiscated in money laundering or as a black money. So he returned this money, instead of depositing in the National Treasury, returned this to the same culprit as white money in his home country. So what would you say? Is this democracy or it is a crime? And then the House decided otherwise. But my point is that we have to get mature. We have to rise above these petty politics, and we have to now think in terms of bigger issues. And these issues are going to define our future and the future of our next generations. The time is not on our side. We have lost 77 years. When you are running a marathon and you are behind in the first 5,000 meters, last 1,000 meters you have to run as a 1,000-meter race with sprint, with full speed. And I think the challenge before us is we are capable, we can do it, provided we are able to do it with collective competence of the nation. And let me be very clear. Today, there is no single leader, there is no single party, and there is no single institution that can steer Pakistan out of the present crisis. Pakistan can only come out of this crisis through a collaborative effort, through a teamwork, where we can show the power, the positive power of synergy of our nation. And therefore, one of the key elements of URAAN Pakistan that I will share with you is that we want to give ownership of this plan to the people of Pakistan, and particularly the talented diaspora of Pakistan, so that they can also sit with us on the driving seat and help us and help themselves see their country rise in the Committee of Nations as one of the fastest growing economies in Asia. So ladies and gentlemen, this URAAN Pakistan, as I said, is not a theoretical framework. It stands on delivery of turning around a near bankrupt economy. So if we can come this far, we can also achieve the goal of making Pakistan a $1 trillion economy by 2035 and a $3 trillion economy by 2047. If we learn the lesson from other countries of peace, stability, continuity, and reform. Under URAAN Pakistan, we have identified 5 E's that we feel are critical for our future development journey. The first E relates to exports. One of the fundamental weakness Pakistan has had in its economy has been that, as I said earlier also, we did not follow an export-led growth strategy in development like other countries. As a result, whenever we grow, we create an appetite for consumption, imports grow, but correspondingly our exports do not match the appetite for dollars. So we do create appetite for dollars, but we are unable to create capability of earning dollars. And that creates a balance of payment gap, and that again forces us to cut down on economy and imports, and again we go into a bust cycle. So it is a boom and bust cycle that has been very characteristic of our economy. So we have to now fully realize the export potential of Pakistan. And for that we have identified 8 areas where Pakistan has huge opportunity. First, in agriculture. And just to give you one example how much we can do in agriculture, 4 years ago we were nowhere in sesame seed export. In 4 years, it has become a $1 billion export to China. I mean, this is just one example, how much we can do in agriculture sector. Similarly, it makes no sense for an agriculture economy like ours to spend $10 billion on import of agriculture produce. So we should actually be exporting rather than importing $10 billion worth of agriculture goods. So now government has decided to focus on developing agriculture sector by increasing our productivity. For that, we are sending this March 1,000 agriculture scientists and graduates to China to learn new techniques, new technologies which they have developed very successfully, and in last 10 years they have greatly increased their productivity through technology enablement, through smart agriculture. So we will train our researchers in these different areas, whether it is seed development, farm mechanization, drip irrigation, whatever, and they will come back and try to develop our agriculture sector on modern lines. Second is industry. So we have done an industrial policy, and we also think that our industry has great opportunity and potential to further increase our exports. We have relied traditionally on textiles, but now we are diversifying our industrial base to have new products for international markets. 3, service sector. Pakistan has huge potential in tourism, in various services, whether financial, consulting, and others. So that also we are focusing and promoting. 4th is IT. Pakistan has become now a hotspot for IT sector, and our IT exports are increasing at very rapid rate. We are already 3rd biggest country in e-lancing, but we are promoting more startups, so that instead of just taking low wage jobs in international market, our startups and our companies should do high value work in IT sector. The 5th area is mining sector. Pakistan is blessed with trillions of dollars worth of minerals, and particularly some of the new critical minerals that are used in batteries and EVs and all these new chip making. We are also blessed with that. So mining sector is now future of Pakistan, and recently we have been able to finalize our agreement with Barrick Gold on Ricochet, and now Saudis are also investing, Chinese are also coming in. So we see huge potential in Pakistan in mining sector over the next 10 years, and we can generate billions of dollars of exports from mining sector. The 6th area is for Pakistan, that is blue economy. We have almost 1,200 kilometers of coastline, but we have not even scratched the first layer of the potential that exists either in fishing or aquaculture for Pakistan's economy. So blue economy is also one of the key drivers for our future exports. The 7th is manpower export. Pakistan already is having $30 billion in remittances, and we think that this can easily go to $50 to $60 billion in next 5 to 7 years. there is unlimited demand for some skills in the international global marketplace. I see diplomats who meet me all the time and they say, if you can give us 10,000 nurses tomorrow and day after we can give you the visas, we need nurses very badly. Similarly, there are some other occupations for which there is unlimited demand, so government is now very actively reorienting the technical training programs towards those skills and trades which have demand in international markets, so that would be another area. And finally, creative industries. Pakistan, again, creative industry is becoming a $1 trillion economy. And Pakistan has, as you know, we were discussing, so much rich culture, history of culture, art, design, fashion. Our youth is so creative, innovative. Music, you know, name anything, gaming. So there is a huge opportunity in creative industries. So we are also now very actively encouraging creative industries so that Pakistan can not only achieve exports targets, but also through creative industries we create soft image for Pakistan as a nation of innovative people, as a nation of creative people. The second E relates to E-Pakistan, and Dr. Najib has already shown you the path, how we intend to build strong technology-based economy in Pakistan. Because today, future of economy is becoming a techno economy. It used to be an agro economy, then became an industrial economy. Now it is an age of techno economy. So we have to, at a very rapid speed, develop technological capabilities that will make us relevant in the new economy. We have a national task force on artificial intelligence that is working to see that how fast we can embed artificial intelligence in different sectors. We have set up national centers for we set them up in the previous tenure during 17-18, National Center for Artificial Intelligence, National Center for Automation and Robotics, National Center for Big Data, Cloud Computing, National Center for Cyber Security, National Center for Satellite and GIS Technologies, National Center for Genomics, and now we are setting up National Center for Quantum Computing, National Center for Nanotechnology. So all these new emerging technologies, we are trying to create strong foundations in the country so that our future economy is driven by the drivers of the new industrial revolution 4.0 and 5.0. We will also align all the research infrastructure that we possess, as Dr. Najib said, with industrial clusters, agricultural clusters, so each and every sector of the economy is driven by the knowledge contribution. Besides the capital, of finance, the capital of money, we today also need the innovation and knowledge capital in every sector of economy. The third E is about environment and climate change. We are the 7th most vulnerable country for climate change. In 2022, we faced a major disaster, and the challenge is how fast we adapt for future climate shocks. And the two areas that we are focused on is water security and food security. The fourth E relates to energy and infrastructure. We are working on making energy sector efficient through energy sector reforms. If it becomes efficient, it will become affordable. And likewise, also making a transition to green energy by promoting hydro and solar in the country. The fifth E is very important to me. And that is the most, not only important, but also the weakest link in our development equation. We have relatively stable economic indicators as a middle income country. But our social indicators fall in the league of the least developed African countries. Whether it is education, whether it is health, whether it is population growth rate. So all our social indicators are not compatible with our ambitions and with our dreams. There is no example in history where a country has become a developed country or a semi-developed country with less than 90% literacy rate. We have a literacy rate of 60%. There is no example in history where a country has been able to achieve development without ensuring 100% primary enrollment or universal primary enrollment. We have about 24 to 25 million children out of school. So we have to bring them into schools, which is as important as building other economic or hard infrastructure foundations for the economy. So this fifth E relates to equity and empowerment. How do we address the issue of education deficiency? How we address the issue of health deficiency? In health, we have one of the highest rates in hepatitis C. To address this, we are starting this year a program with 67 billion rupees to eliminate hepatitis C in 3 years, like Egypt has successfully done. So if they could do, why cannot we do? So we have allocated those resources and made it a national goal that in inshallah 3 years we will knock out hepatitis C from our population. Similarly, we have started a major national initiative on diabetes to also bring that under control. We have started an 8 billion rupee initiative on child stunting so that we are also able to address the issue of child stunting. So what I'm saying is, it is not just words or speech that I'm making. In strategic management, we say that if something is not matched by budget allocation, it is just a pep talk. So your seriousness only is reflected when you have the budgets behind your goals. So all of these goals have the budget allocations that we can give under our limited finances or funds that we have available. And finally, as part of empowerment strategy, we are focusing on youth and women as the driver of future growth strategy. Because youth is 2/3 of our population, they hold the key. If we will give them good education, right skills, they will be a big demographic dividend. But if we fail to give them the right skills, they will be a big demographic disaster for us. So the government is fully committed. We have recently signed a contract with a leading telecom company. It will give training to 200,000 youth in new IT skills, and similarly government has also launched several other programs. So we are giving youth training in IT sector and other new skills that are relevant in the new economy, as well as we think the other group that is important is female workforce participation, which is at the moment only 22-23% in Pakistan. Again, no country has shown development unless it has also ensured 50% plus female workforce participation. So we have to make sure that our female population is also an active member in the development journey. So for that, we have started several programs, starting from girls' education to skill training to access to credit and other initiatives. So we hope that and we are very proud that Pakistani girls are now running at much faster speed than our boys. Just to give you an example, in my district, in University of Narwal, there are 7,000 students, out of which 5,000 are girls, and all unmarried. So I tell the boys often that, my fear is that when we were growing, 90% of the women had their occupation as housewife. And I fear in 10 years, most of you will have an occupation of house husband. You will be taking care of kids at home and your wives will be working. So you better wake up and also work hard. So, this is a good sign that if you go to universities, 50% plus students are female students. So now, this is, I think, a future opportunity area. If we can empower our women, they can, I think, really be a force multiplier in our development journey. So this is all in all URAAN Pakistan agenda under the leadership of this Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif, which we are following wholeheartedly, and we feel that we can only be successful if we all work together. It's not about any government, it's about us. It is about Pakistan. It's about Pakistan in 2047. So we have to rise above whatever differences we may have, but we must learn to collaborate for higher goals and higher objectives of the country. And this is one area where I feel that our diaspora can play the same role that NRIs played in India, that Malaysian diaspora played in Malaysia, Singapore diaspora played for them, Chinese diaspora played for them. I think you two are equally competent to become a catalyst for Pakistan to grow to run faster on this journey and this path. So this is what I have to explain. There is a presentation on opportunities for youth, which I just ignored. Instead of going through a PowerPoint presentation, I thought I should speak to you directly. But let me just summarize. We think youth holds key. So we have started 2 initiatives. One in the country, as Ahmed Bhatt was saying, that we have Young Development Fellows program, in which we take 40 young, bright, fresh graduates, and most of them are from top schools and universities in the world. They come and spend 1 year with us. They get first-hand experience of public policy, how it is done, and then they go out in the world, in United States and UK and Europe. During the summer in Pakistan program, you can register with us, and if you have some capability or special experience, we will make you either part of the advisory role. You can help us in developing programs, policies, or you can help us in appraisal of different projects and policies. Or if you want to start something in Pakistan through your whatever capability you have, or you want to invest in Pakistan, we will offer you all the assistance that we can offer, so that you don't have to be victim of the bureaucratic red tape anywhere. So we are inviting the diaspora to also join this network. Through this, inshallah, we hope that we can all create a network of Team Pakistan all over the world of capable Pakistanis. And I tell you, Prime Minister is so clear and so very much committed. He says that we must have best of the best in our team. So any good, high quality talent that wants to come and serve Pakistan, we will provide you an opportunity to serve Pakistan. And you can see that, our member science and technology is just one of you. He was here in UK, he did his PhD from Cambridge University and did his executive MBA, and we recruited him. We motivated him to come and work for Pakistan. So therefore, if there is any talent that wants to contribute in this journey, we will welcome that talent and try to help him or her to be part of this journey. So with these words, I thank you all for very patient listening.
Thank you very much, Minister sir. Now I would like to invite Mr. Ali Malik, as Minister of Press, and he would coordinate the Q&A.
उधर ठीक है
I'm Dr. Muhammad Tahir. I'm a PhD in intelligence and counterterrorism from Buckingham University. And before it, I did LLM in international law from Buckingham University, and another LLM in international security and intelligence from the Leiden University in Holland. And currently, I'm a research fellow at Buckingham University Center for Security and Intelligence Studies. And I'm head of South and Southeast Asia Security Research Center. I have several publications on counterterrorism and international security. Recently, my publication published in 3 languages, English, French, and Arabic. And I focused on comparative religious studies, and this question is mostly counterterrorism we attribute and attached only with Islam. So I proved with hundreds of years study that not only Islam is attached with the terrorism, but all other religions, they have the focus and roots in terrorism. So my question is, first of all, thank you very much, because I had no idea about this event, and really thankful to Mr. President Ahsan and Mr. Rashid Hashmi, who invited me here. Otherwise, I had no idea about this, and thank you very much. My question is simple, that how I can contribute to URAAN program. My expertise in intelligence, my expertise in human intelligence, counterterrorism, international security, and I'm also invited by the Abu Dhabi in all the, this arsenals, military arsenal conference next month. So how I can contribute, me and like other people like me, we can contribute. Thank you very much, sir.
Let's take 5 questions. Please, be specific to the URAAN Pakistan.
Yes.
So,
Short.
please.
Thank you, Honorable Minister. My question is this: can you tell us? My name is Chaudhary Tabrez Aura. I work for daily English newspaper, The Spokesman. And thank you, Honorable Minister. My question is this: can you tell us what kind of initiative you have taken for the children of overseas Pakistanis who want to get admission in special medical, like nursing and MBBS program under the URAAN youth program? Thank you.
Thank you very much. My name is Dr. Ahsan. I'm a GP trainer and associate tutor, an honorary clinical lecturer for Leeds University. First of all, I'm very happy to share that I was part of Pakistan 2010 program as a champion of reform from the students. When I was 23 years old, as a third-year medical student in Rawalpindi Medical College. Now I'm 50, so it's almost 28 years ago. Professor Ahsan Iqbal, one thing I like about him is he always likes to connect youth and students. So it's since then I've been in touch with him. Every time I visit to Pakistan, I always try to see him. And today he invited me to come and join this, and I'm again very happy that I'm also part of the URAAN program, and I will definitely join the Champion of Reform program. So thank you very much for that, sir. So one thing that you mentioned in your speech as well, which I was always wondering, the continuity of policies. So these things have happened in Pakistan so many times. You know, we talked about this before, that Pakistan 2010 was derailed due to non-democratic forces. What reassurances or safeguards we have now, or you can provide us, that these kind of excellent programs will continue, hopefully, and the policies will not change with the quick regime change. Thank you.
Assalamu alaikum, sir. My name is Medina and I am the chairperson of UPSIGN. UPSIGN is the network to connect Pakistani academics with UK academics. In addition, I also work at Imperial College London, and today I'm speaking as a mother but also as a professional. Meri Beti, she would be delighted to hear about this program. And I wanted to ask you that we are experts, we have expertise in healthcare, AI, medicine, etc. How would you plan to engage and build on that expertise? And part two, looking around the room, it's only 4 or 5 women here today. So I really welcome the 5th E that you have mentioned. How would you plan to incorporate that more in a pronounced way in plans? Thank you, sir. And I hope you get some rest also. Thank you.
The next is Fareed Sahab.
Thank you. Fareed Qureshi, Airway News. My question is, you have a very busy visit to the UK. You went to Oxford University, Cambridge University. So what kind of commitments or partnerships you have secured for, that will directly contribute to URAAN Pakistan program on the Republic of Pakistan?
you have any question? Do you have any question? No, there's a lady at the back. Yes. Yes.
Thank you very much. My name is Professor Shaila Zendi. I work at University College London and the Global Business School for Health, which is UK's first business school entirely dedicated to global health. And I head one of the largest postgraduate programs there. I have two specific questions. One is, yes, we do have Pakistani students and we can refer them back for your internship program. But then we have students from many countries, our domestic UK students, international students. Would you also be interested in providing them an immersive experience in Pakistan, sort of improving Pakistan brand image to youngsters from other countries? And the second question is, my area is public-private partnerships for health, working really to bring the private sector into policy growth of the public sector. Is this something of interest and can we support partners?
Anyone?
Yes, sir. As the Overseas British Pakistani, the High Commissioner paid some tremendous tributes to our country to supporting Pakistan in every way we can. We
Two more questions, please. Two more, last two questions. Dr. Prof.
And Dr. Chima, sir, I know you personally. So my question is, for the investment point of view, FDI or any investment, is there any targets if we can find right investment value for URAAN? And do you have early engagement with the World Bank or European Union or G7? So if you could explain that, then we can talk further on.
Last question. Okay,
So I must congratulate for your very successful tour, and especially the debate in Oxford. That was really amazing debate. Sir, coming from professional background, as you mentioned, I've been teaching 16 years in the UK, doing my post-graduation 2003-4 from Middlesex University here. So my experience is, Pakistan, instead of we employing the people, we gave them there's a mushroom growth of parasites in our society. We gave them income support programs, whereas comparing with Bangladesh and other countries, they gave them employability. Their women, they were working in the factories, they were doing the sewings. I mentioned, none from the same background profession. We can introduce so many short-term program. We don't have to have a couple of years program, 6 months small training programs where we can make people employable, and that can leading towards an increase in our exports and all other things. If any sort of help needing from my side, from my experience here in the back in Pakistan, I'm more than happy to contribute to my country. Thank you.
There's a lady there.
Thank you so much. I thought we were going to have a second round, so I was waiting. मेरा सवाल उर्दू में होगा सर. आपने जैसे खुद ही मेंशन कर दिया कि ऑक्सफोर्ड यूनिवर्सिटी के अंदर आपको काफी एंटी पाकिस्तान प्रोपेगेंडा फेस करना पड़ा.
फेस नहीं करना पड़ा. This guy just made this part of the speech, so there was nothing other than that. But I felt sad. As a Pakistani, he was standing there and actually charge sheeting his own country.
That's exactly my question is कि हम पाकिस्तान के बाहर रहने वाले जो ऐसे लोग पाकिस्तान के खिलाफ पाकिस्तानी ही प्रोपेगेंडा कर रहे हैं, उसके लिए आपने यूथ के लिए क्या कोई ऐसी इनिशिएटिव लिया है कि जो हम यहाँ पर रह के कुछ कर सके? Thank you.
The next one is here, so we can take the question, as many questions as we want. But I think first we complete this one.
I think the first था ये डॉक्टर साहब का कि security और intelligence में उनकी capability है. I think if you are sharing it with other countries, you are welcome to share with Pakistan. We are also setting up in Qaeda University a school of intelligence. तो उसके साथ आप cooperate करें और उसको establish करने में हमारी मदद करें in your own professional area. So I think that would be a direct contribution that you can make. जो overseas Pakistani के, there was a question कि उनके लिए क्या करें. Yes, this is under active consideration that we should, when overseas Pakistanis are giving us valuable remittances, we must keep quota for their children in medical and engineering universities. So this is under active consideration and you will see some positive outcome.
continuity of policies where Dr. Ansar Saab said, what assurance that it will not be done again. I think the biggest assurance can be that if people of Pakistan take ownership of any agenda, whichever government comes will be forced to follow that agenda, or people can be the best guarantee. But other than that, one silver lining which I see in Pakistan, देखिए हमारी history में every time there was a political crisis, it happened because of the misalignment between the pillars of the state. There are three pillars of the state: judiciary, establishment, and parliament. One of the pillars of the state, or two of the pillars of state, went out of the alignment, and that created a political crisis. So I think now the silver lining we see for the time being is that there is complete unanimity among pillars of the state that now Pakistan cannot afford any further adventures. And I think the three pillars of the state have this consensus that we must protect political stability in Pakistan for its economic future. So that gives me hope that, if one of the pillars goes out of line, then you have a chance of a political crisis. So that probably will be a silver lining. And every pillar has learned through their own experience. I think now judiciary realizes that what it did in 2017, it did not hurt Nawaz Sharif, it hurt Pakistan. Pakistan is today paying the price of 27 actions of the judiciary. Similarly, what happened in 2018, that did not hurt us, it hurt Pakistan. And I think establishment also realized that, doing these kinds of experiments are not right. And politicians have also learned that, they also have to go in a spirit where they must work together. And I think the best example of that was the 16 months of coalition government based on 12 parties. Each of the party had very strong difference with other member of the coalition. But for larger national goal objective, they showed a lot of maturity, and people were betting that this coalition will not last for more than 1 month. It lasted till end of the tenure of the government. So that shows that politicians have also learned their lessons. So I think if we all become mature, learn from history, and are more responsible towards future, and don't just undertake these political adventures, don't become part of political destabilization, so things will be better. Dr. Madhiya Sahib, we have member science and technology, so I think he is the best resource. You should immediately meet him and work out a mechanism ताकि how UK Pakistan जो science up science है उसमें आप किस तरीके से you can cooperate, and we certainly look forward कि हम more women को empower करें. हमने जो members लिए हैं उसमें especially female members induct की हैं ताकि एक अच्छी नुमाइंदगी planning के अंदर भी ख़वातीन की होनी चाहिए. So इसी तरह government की सतह पे भी we are encouraging women to come forward. What commitments from universities? Yes, we had very good discussions, both not just with Oxford and Cambridge. ये तो एक high end है ना. I have also visited another few universities which are serving less developed communities here, and they are actually having a transformational impact on the youth coming from less privileged backgrounds. So that is the cultural setting we have for most of our people. So we have arrived at an understanding that these universities will offer us collaborative programs. They will share their technical know-how with Pakistan to enable Pakistani universities to benefit from their experience. We will have more joint PhD programs, and we are particularly keen to have joint PhD programs in a way where Pakistani scholars work on Pakistani problems. ताकि वो ये यहाँ पर आके जब इधर के मसाइल पे PhD करते हैं तो इधर ही रह जाते हैं.
So we would like them to, focus in their research on Pakistani problems. So similarly, we are working to set up a new material science the Center of Excellence and Cambridge University के साथ हमारी बड़ी अच्छी उस पर collaboration हुई है. We will have good positive outcomes. Public-private partnership, Shala Sahaba, I want to tell you that the work you have done on hepatitis, we are using it. Or similarly, public-private partnership is an active now focus of the government, high priority focus है because public sector की देखें ये जो आपको समझाते हैं ना आपके कि जी हमने बड़ा नया पाकिस्तान बना दिया 2018 में in 2018 the development budget of Pakistan was 1,000 billion rupees. 4 years later when I took over this ministry again, this development budget had been reduced to 750 billion rupees. If you discount it on 2018 prices, it comes to maybe at best 300 billion. Not only it was reduced, but they just misused it in a way that 40% of the federal government development budget just goes to provincial level schemes, galiyan, naliyan, और जैसे फजूल काम उसमें डाल दिए. So we are now really struggling. इसको हम clean करें, इसकी space बढ़ाएं और जो high priority national projects है उसकी तरफ funding लेकर दोबारा लेकर जाएं. तो इंशाल्लाह you will see better results. But to achieve our goals, we need to complement our public sector funds with private sector funds. तो इस तरह हम हर सेक्टर में अपना पब्लिक प्राइवेट पार्टनरशिप्स को बहुत encourage कर रहे हैं. इसी तरह हेल्थ में भी I think this is an opportunity on which we have to work. Brits in Pakistani origin, British citizens can contribute in whatever way they like. जहाँ पे देखें आपके क्या काम है करने के. सबसे पहला काम यह है कि each Pakistani here should become a sales agent for a Pakistani product because we need exports and more exports. You know the market here in UK. So you must become a brand ambassador for Pakistan for introducing Pakistani products in UK market. So that is what we need to actively do now. We must become an exporting nation. So every Pakistani should see that what is it that they can bring from their own country and sell here and get better market share for Pakistani products. Two, we look forward to your investments back home if you can bring new technology, new ideas and invest in Pakistan. Three, you can share your experiences with us. If you are doing business here, you have some capability, some expertise like Dr. Saab was saying. So share your experience with us so that we don't have to reinvent the wheel and we can benefit from you. And one good news, inshallah, you will see very soon, inshallah, that PIA will also land at Heathrow Airport, inshallah, soon. And this is something that is again one testimony to what happens if you have incompetent regimes in the country. One statement in Pakistan. If that foolish act had not been done, today PIA would be in profits. क्योंकि जो कोविड के बाद फेल्स हुए थे, अगर PIA को पिछले 4 साल लग जाते, तो it would have made up for all its losses. But that one foolish statement, cost us billions of rupees. There's no realization, no accountability. So अब हमें पता है किस तरह how we have worked to restore the trust and confidence of regulators in European Union to get permission for PIA coming back to Europe. And I keep telling British High Commissioner in Pakistan that look, if we can fly to Canada safely, London is just halfway. So you must trust our capability. If we can go as far as Montreal or Toronto and fly planes very safely, so London is just halfway. But I think we have made headway, and very soon, inshallah, that will be a big, again, service to Pakistani diaspora here to have direct flights from PIA. Employability pay, I agree. That is the key. And therefore, one of the performance criteria that we have given to our universities is that they will be evaluated on the employability of their graduates. And more than that, we are also now doing many skill-based programs کہ جو 6 month 3 month پروگرامز ہیں جو نوجوانوں کو مارکیٹ بیسڈ سکلز دیں اور اس کی امپلائبلٹی پہ وہ تیار کریں. نوجوانوں کو کیا جا سکتا ہے؟ آئی تھنک the best thing for youth is more engagement. The irony of our age is that social media is a tool as well as it is a weapon. And some people use social media as a political weapon to spread hatred, to promote their false narratives. And you can easily be influenced by them. And if you want to know how you get influenced, go to Netflix and watch a movie, The Great Hack. It will tell you how social media can manipulate. So I think, how do you counter it? It is only through more engagement and giving people the facts. I had this experience of engaging with the youth at Oxford, at Cambridge, and I tell you, this is before the debate. We had a session with the students, Pakistani as well as international students. So when they started the debate, there were many, hard questions. But when they got the answers, they were all very satisfied and they were all queuing to take selfies with me. So when I entered the room, I did sense کہ وہ بڑی ایک تھوڑی سی ہے ذرا tense ماحول ہے. لیکن جب they got all the answers, just to give you one example کہ لوگوں کو کس طرح وہ امید ٹوٹتی ہے. ایک بچی نے سوال کیا جب میں یہ بات کر رہا تھا کہ جی آپ بتائیں کہ کوئی اور ملک سڑکوں پہ جس طرح نعرے مارتا ہے, کوئی بدتمیزی کرتا ہے, وہ مودی یا حسینہ واجد کی جاتی تھی, اس نے کہا جی دیکھیں یہ اسی لیے لوگ کال آؤٹ کرتے ہیں کہ دیر از سپریشن. تو میں نے کہا آپ مجھے یہ بتاؤ کہ سپریشن کب سے ہے؟ 9 مئی سے پہلے تو خان صاحب پاکستان کی تاریخ کے سب سے آزاد اپوزیشن لیڈر تھے, جتنے جلسے انہوں نے کیے کسی نے ان کو پھول بھی نہیں مارا. تو میں کہ یہ نیم کالنگ تو وہ تب سے کریں جب وہ وزیر اعظم تھے, اس وقت کیا سپریشن تھا. یہ ایک انداز سیاست ہے نا جس میں آپ نے لوگوں میں ایک نفرت کو پھیلایا ہے. اور میں نے کہا کہ اس کی سب سے بڑی مثال میں خود ہوں کہ 2018 میں اسی نفرت کے بیانیے کو اور مذہب کے کارڈ کو استعمال کر کے مجھے ایک نوجوان جو اس پروپیگنڈے سے متاثر ہوا تھا, اس نے میرے اوپر قاتلانہ حملہ کیا, میری جان لینے کی کوشش کی. اللہ کو زندگی منظور تھی لیکن وہ گولی میرے جسم میں آج بھی موجود ہے اور مجھے یہ احساس دلاتی ہے کہ ہمیں انہیں نفرتوں کو ختم کرنا ہے. تو میں نے کہا کہ یہ چیزیں آپ سب کو خود سوچنے چاہیے کہ جو چیزیں آپ کو سوشل میڈیا پہ آ رہی ہیں, سوشل میڈیا پہ کچھ لوگوں نے سیاست کو ایک ڈرامہ بنا دیا. جیسے آپ ڈرامہ دیکھ کے روتے بھی ہیں, ہنستے بھی ہیں. تو سیاست جو ہے وہ کبھی ہم کبھی تم ڈرامہ نہیں ہے, وہ تو ایک عمل کی زندگی ہے کہ جس میں آپ کارکردگی پہ بات کرتے ہیں, فیکٹس پہ بات کرتے ہیں. سو آئی تھنک اس کا حل یہی ہے کہ ہم نوجوانوں سے زیادہ انگیج کریں اور ان کو کاؤنٹر نیریٹو دیں. تو جب ان کو دوسرا نیریٹو, تصویر کا دوسرا رخ ملتا ہے تو وہ جو ایک ان کے ذہنوں میں نفرت کے پہاڑ کھڑے کیے گئے ہیں وہ ریت کے قلعے کی طرح ڈھہ جاتے ہیں.
Thank you very much, sir. Minister, I think Minister Sir can speak like for another 2 hours. I'm sure he has been continuously busy at Cambridge and Oxford. I think we have last 3 questions before the lunch. One is Ahsan sir, one is the gentleman is, and one is the last. Sorry, please.
Sir, question का बहुत शुक्रिया आपका. मेरा जो क्वेश्चन है थोड़ा सा हार्ड, उसमें ये है कि जैसे आप अभी चौथी उड़ान भरने जा रहे हैं, पहली कुछ उड़ानों और दूसरी उड़ानों में सिविल मिलिट्री रिलेशनशिप का बहुत मसला रहा. क्या आप समझते हैं इस वक्त सिविल मिलिट्री रिलेशनशिप इस लेवल पे हैं कि ये आपकी उड़ान कामयाब होगी? दूसरा मेरा सवाल CPEC, उसकी क्या पोजीशन है? आपने पहले काफ़ी काम किया था. और तीसरा, यहाँ पे बहुत सारे लोग हैं जिनके बच्चे पाकिस्तान जाना चाहते हैं, हॉलीडेज़ पे जाना चाहते हैं, पाकिस्तान से कनेक्ट करना चाहते हैं. उसके लिए हॉलीडेज़ के लिए, या जैसे अब हमारे बच्चे टर्की जा रहे हैं, यूरोप जाते हैं, दूसरी कंट्रीज़ में जाते हैं, तो ये एक बड़ा इंपॉर्टेंट हमारा बच्चों के, क्योंकि हमारे जाने के बाद हो सकता है इनका वो इंगेजमेंट लेवल वो ना हो. तो उसके लिए आपकी गवर्नमेंट की क्या?
Yes.
थैंक यू वेरी मच. जी, मेरा नाम मुस्तनसर है और मेरी आई एम PhD in AI and MBA in strategy. Thank you members for inviting me. So question बहुत simple है about blockchain. There is a perception in Pakistan that blockchain is more like fake technology, stuff like that. So सबसे पहले तो एक center of blockchain बनाने की जरूरत है, और second सर जैसे अमेरिका में ट्रम्प ने अभी कहा कि we are going to have the capital of Bitcoin. तो सर इसकी तरफ भी देखें, बहुत से ऐसे प्रोजेक्ट हैं जो कि might be जैसे सोलोना है, वीजा और मास्टर कार्ड को रिप्लेस कर दें. So it would be too late कि हम उसको ये समझते रहें कि ये टेक्नोलॉजी फेक है और this can be harmful. There are big ways as well. सर इसको कोई लीगलाइज करने की तरफ आपकी गवर्नमेंट का कोई प्लान है?
The last one, please.
My name is Mazhar, and we're proud of you, sir. We really appreciate you working day and night very hard for Pakistan. My question is, I'm working, I've experienced 10 years in nursing home, and I'm working with elderly people here. We have two big nursing homes. My concern is because lots of people, they are misguiding, because there are lots of opportunity here to work, like they can work as a carer, and we have a lot of potential for this one. And people misguide through agents. People, they come here through agents, like they're spending 80 lakh Pakistani currency. It is too much money. And if we have anything we can do for them, give them right direction, and that we, because I've got experience, and then we can guide as well, because lots of carers, they can come and work here because they know we Pakistani, we work very hard, and they appreciate about that.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Minister sir, no more.
So, Hazrat Javed Sahab, मैंने जैसे पहले भी कहा कि I see this light at the end of the tunnel, कि जो तीन सुतून हैं रियासत के, उन तीनों में अल्हम्दुलिल्लाह इस वक्त बहुत अच्छी अलाइनमेंट है. और वो अलाइनमेंट ये नहीं है कि किसी सियासत पे मबनी है, वो अलाइनमेंट ये है कि तीनों ने अपने अपने तजुर्बे से ये सीखा है कि मुल्क के अंदर सियासी बेयकीनी और सियासी अदम इस्तेकाम हमारे मुआशी मुस्तकबिल के लिए एक जहर है. और कोई इदारा या कोई सुतून जो भी पाकिस्तान में अदम इस्तेकाम या बेयकीनी पैदा करने का मुर्तकब होगा, वो पाकिस्तान के साथ कोई खैर नहीं करेगा, पाकिस्तान के मुस्तकबिल को वो दाव पे लगाएगा. तो इसलिए मुझे उम्मीद है कि कोई मुस्तकबिल करीब में ऐसा सियासी बहरान पैदा नहीं होगा, चूँकि जो रियासत के इन सुतूनों में से कोई बेईमान होता तभी होता है. तो ये अब मैं कोई देखता नहीं हूँ कि पाकिस्तान के रियासत के सुतूनों में से किसी की नीयत में फतूर है या कोई बेईमान हो सकता है. हम सब इस मुल्क के मुस्तकबिल के लिए समझते हैं कि अब जो खतरात हैं उनसे निपटने के लिए हमें एक ऐसी अमल की ज़रूरत है, एक ऐसे कॉन्डक्ट की ज़रूरत है कि जो जिम्मेदाराना हो. दूसरी जो CPAC पे आपने बात की, देखिए CPAC पे जो कुछ पिछली हुकूमत ने किया, तारीख में वो पाकिस्तान के खिलाफ एक जुर्म लिखा जाएगा. अगर वो कुछ ना होता तो आज पाकिस्तान वियतनाम, कंबोडिया के मुकाबले की चीनी सरमायाकारी के साथ एक नए अहम में दाखिल हो चुका होता. हमने पाकिस्तान और चीन के ताल्लुकात को भी दाव पे लगाया. मैं आपको एक मिसाल देता हूँ कि चले चीन को छोड़ दें, गवादर हमारी कितनी अहम बंदरगाह है, जिसको हम दुनिया में कहते हैं डीप सी पोर्ट है. 4 साल तक गवादर पोर्ट की मेंटेनेंस ड्रेजिंग भी नहीं की गई. उसके नतीजे में उसकी गहराई 1.5 मीटर से कम हो गई और वो एक शैलो पोर्ट बन गई दुनिया में, जो डीप सी पोर्ट थी. हमने पिछले 16 माह में आकर फिर उसकी ड्रेजिंग के लिए 4.5 अरब रुपए से उसका काम शुरू कराया, जो मुकम्मल हुआ है, और फिर उसकी 1.5 मीटर गहराई बहाल की है, जिससे 50,000 टन का जहाज अब वहाँ पे नजरअंदाज हो सकता है. ये सिर्फ मैं आपको एक झलक दिखाता हूँ कि किस किस्म की वहाँ पर 4 सालों में काम हुआ है, सिवाय इसके कि चोर डाकू करने के. मेरा नहीं ख्याल कि कोई आप एक मंसूबा मुझे दिखा सकते हैं कि पाकिस्तान में किसी जगह बना हो, कोई नया इनिशिएटिव लिया हो, कोई नई पॉलिसी बनाई हो. तो अब हमने चीन को दोबारा इंगेज किया, और जब उन्होंने हमारे ये सारे चीज़ें देखी जो हमने की हैं, उनका एतमाद बहाल हुआ. और अभी चीन के दौरे के मौके पे सदर शी जिनपिंग और वज़ीर आज़म ने एक अंडरस्टैंडिंग की कि 5 नए कॉरिडोर्स दूसरे फेज में हम शुरू करेंगे. कॉरिडोर ऑफ ग्रोथ, कॉरिडोर ऑफ livelihoods, corridor of innovation, corridor of green economy and corridor of open regional economy. تو ان 5 کوریڈورز کے تحت ابھی ہم نے 2 ہفتے پہلے 30 ہمارے ماہرین چائنا گئے تھے جو چائنا کی حکومت نے بلائے تھے. انہوں نے 15 دن کی ان کے ماہرین کے ساتھ بیٹھ کے ورک شاپ کی ہے جس میں ان 5 کوریڈورز کا انہوں نے روڈ میپ بنایا. اور میں انشاءاللہ بہت پرامید ہوں کہ اب ہم اس نئے دور میں جو پچھلا ہمارا فیز تھا 10 سالوں کا اس سے بہتر اشتراک کو آگے بڑھا سکیں گے. لیکن اب ہماری زیادہ ترجیح جو ہے سی پیک فیز 2 میں بزنس ٹو بزنس تعلقات کو فروغ دینے میں ہے اور پرائیویٹ انویسٹمنٹ کو لانے پر ہے اور ایگریکلچر سیکٹر, انڈسٹریل سیکٹر, ٹیکنالوجی سیکٹر ان میں تعاون کو آگے بڑھانے پر زیادہ فروغ ہے. جو آپ نے نوجوانوں کے لیے کہا, ہم ایک پروگرام ابھی جلدی لانچ کرنے والے ہیں جس میں جو اوورسیز بورن پاکستانی چلڈرن ہیں ان کے لیے ہم ایک پروگرام لانچ کریں گے کہ جو بیسٹ اینڈ برائٹسٹ کڈز ہیں بورن ہیئر ریزڈ ہیئر ان کے لیے 15 دن کا وزٹ پاکستان پروگرام کی جس میں ٹکٹ وہ اپنی لیں گے لیکن 15 دن ہاسپٹیلٹی حکومت کی ہوگی. And we will show them the culture of Pakistan, we will take them to all provinces, they will visit parliament, they will meet the leaders in Pakistan, they will see what Pakistan is, تاکہ جو یہاں پر born and raised بچے ہیں جن کو اپنے ملک کا زیادہ نہیں پتا ان کو ہم اپنے ملک کے کلچر اور اس کی روایات اور وہاں کی جو کامیابی ہیں ان سے ہم کنار کریں. تو we are working on this project and very soon you will see it will be launched. مستنصر صاحب نے بلاک چین کا کہا جی آپ جو بولے وہی کنڈا کھولے, بنائیں پرپوزل دیں ویل ڈو اٹ. اور مظہر صاحب نے بھی جو کہا ایلڈرلی ہومس کے لیے جو ورک فورس کی ہے آئی وڈ سجیسٹ کہ یو شوڈ ورک ود دا ہائی کمیشن اور ان کے ساتھ بیٹھ کے آپ بتائیں کہ کس طرح ہم لوگوں کو بہتر گائیڈ کر سکتے ہیں, اس کو ہم وہاں پہ دیں گے انشاءاللہ. تھینک یو ویری مچ.
Thank you very much, sir. Yeah, the lunch is served. Please have lunch very patiently. Mr. Sahab is here, so he can take any questions of yours after the lunch. So let's give us a break. So have a lunch. Thank you.
So I hope that you have earned your lunch by listening to me, and I have earned my lunch by speaking to you. There is no free lunch.
Hum